Hello fellow pilots, I'm J6K1 and this is another episode of How to Play. And today I'm going to talk about Kawasaki J6K1. K6, always K6 on my mind at tier 7. But this is new Japanese light fighter at tier 7, currently available in sets of mission, J6K1. And let's get into it. Let's start with parameters. And the biggest advantage of this plane are guns. We have 6 20mm cannons and 2 heavy machine guns 13.2mm. So those two types of weapons altogether give you basic cumulative damage 760, and optimum distance for this weapon is 740. So basically this is the biggest advantage of this plane, is this firepower, and that alone is already like, it's look like overpower, yeah. And think about that we have 2 slots for guns, so we can pump up those numbers really hard. So that could go even over 1000 damage, cumulative damage. So this is amazing. But now survivability in this plane is very standard for tier 7 light fighters, so not great, not terrible. And like for Japanese fighter, that's actually good. 280 HP, resistant to damage 50, and resistant to fire 30. Now, airspeed. Airspeed is a weakness of this plane. We have cruise speed 440, boost speed 670 km/h, and boost duration is only 6 seconds. Maximum dive speed, which is maximum plane speed, 780 km/h. So basically, speed is a problem for that plane, but not the biggest problem. Now, maneuverability is quite okay. We can say 9.8 second average turn time. That's the base we have. Rate of roll 110 degree per second. Minimum optimum speed is 176 and maximum optimum 528. Stall speed 150, which is also very good. So we have very good maneuverability, not the best like other Japanese light fighters, yeah, or Spitfires, or even MB5 or stuff like this, but still that's very good maneuverability to start with. Now, altitude performance, that's the biggest weakness of this plane. So we have maximum optimum altitude 1200 meters, which is very bad for tier 7. So basically this is a low flying light fighter. And service ceiling 3200 meters, rate of climb 126 meters per second. So that's the biggest problem with this plane, altitude performance. So this is something what you're gonna constantly be struggle with. You will keep trying to use this firepower against targets which fly much higher, like this bomber human plane. I wouldn't normally go after Tu-10, it's too powerful. But I'm just testing this plane here now. But I see I can't catch up with him. I'm above my optimum altitude. I don't have boost, I don't have speed, and I can't accelerate. So I have to give up, and where we can use this firepower is definitely on lower altitude, and ground attackers are perfect target, as you see. And basically if ground attacker run into this plane, he's gonna have very bad day. With this firepower we can just delete them very quickly. Like ground attacker already have a very hard life in this game, but this plane will make it worse, that's for sure. So we can always enjoy with this firepower, yeah, that's great, and this is really feel great, like you're like a king in low altitude, you're a king. But you always will try to get higher to get those targets, and everybody fly higher. That's gonna be very annoying, like to go after those targets, and you just can't, you know, the acceleration, the climb blade, everything is just not good enough for this to be able to use this firepower in this plane. So it's a king of low altitude, but it's not going to be overpowered. Just this one thing will make this plane not overpowered, even though it's look like designed for being overpowered, but it's not going to be. So as you can see here, this is actually one of my best battle. Actually, that's the best battle where I get 30,000 points, and as you see here, I'm above 2000 meters. To get those targets, to get those bots, I'm here on yellow 2000 meters, and I just don't have speed, as you see, and I keep climbing for those targets, and I can't do anything else. Like, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wait until they come down to me, and that's not gonna work like that. As you see, 2400 meters, it's actually the red for this plane, yeah, and I have speed well just above 200 km/h at this altitude, so it's really bad, yeah. That's make you an easy target, and it's also very difficult to dodge enemy heavy fighter, for example, if you are under attack, yeah. At this altitude you are not maneuverable, you have no speed. And again, I'm gonna go and climb for this bot. And I'm not full HP, and bots know that if you are not in full HP, they just gonna go head on with you. So this is risky, but with this firepower we can take that risk. And as you see, I barely alive. I stalled my plane, luckily for me, not too early, so I stalled, but I recover, and I just had like 2 HP and I survive. And I survived thanks to my equipment. So let's go and let's talk about my setup of equipment. So on first slot we have Kawanishi sight, very standard, and we set up bonus characteristic to increase chance of fire and accuracy for moving targets. That's the most important. Now second slot we have my secret weapon, so we increase amount of HP, which is very useful in all these head-on engagements. Now boost injection for engine and bonus characteristic to engine cooldown and all this stuff which increase the amount of boost we have. Now 2 slots for guns, so we choose the long gun barrels to increase the range of the fire, and then bolt carriers, very important. And the bonus characteristic on bolt carriers, we can, if you have experimental, you can set up extra 10% more of rate of fire. In standard equipment you can increase that by 8%, I believe. Now in consumables, this one is very important, extra engine cooling. If you can't afford for premium one, go for premium one, because you definitely need a lot of speed in this plane and you need that very often. Now pilot skills, very standard for light fighter. We can go for aerobatic expert first, then aerodynamic expert, and then of course you must have the resilience. This is must have. And another one, I'm not using that often, but evasive targets is very useful for this plane. It's gonna reduce the chance of getting critical damage when you're maneuvering, you're trying to dodge some heavy fighter or some high altitude light fighter, and you can go after them basically, and or rather have better chance not to go after them with your engine knocked out, yeah, for example. Now if I would have 15 skilled pilot here, I would go for Engine Guru 1 and 2, but it also could be Marksman 1 and 2. In this pilot I have Firefighter, but I would reset that. I wouldn't go with this, I just have that for now, but if I would have this 15 points I will go for Engine Guru 1 and 2. But if you have any problem with aiming or destroying those light maneuverable fighters which are more maneuverable than you, and there is a risk that they get behind you and take you out, so maybe it's better to go with Marksman 1 and 2 and don't be worried about those light fighters, because another way, like we don't have maneuverability to go with into turn fight with Spitfires or some Japanese planes, yeah, so you rely heavily on your firepower. So maybe Marksman 1 and 2, if you have any problem with this, would be a better choice. And this is basically how you deal with more maneuverable light fighter than you. You use your firepower, you slow down, take your aim and kill before this enemy get behind you. And there's good few planes which are more maneuverable, but I don't see, when I'm flying this plane I don't have much problem to take them out. Well, the other group, we can separate enemy planes in 2 groups. First is more maneuverable than you, another group is less maneuverable than you. So with this more maneuverable you have a little bit of struggle, you need to be good at aiming, you need to take out these enemies at one pass, or at least critical damage them or set them up on fire, something like that. But the other group, which is less maneuverable than you, they have real struggle with you, because unless they make surprise attacking you, other than that they can't really do anything, because they cannot go head on with the plane which have better firepower than many of the tier 8 planes. So you can't get head on with such a plane and you are less maneuverable. So basically, even if we do not take out this enemy plane which is less maneuverable in head on, we can easily make a turn and finish off, yeah. So basically we keep going head on, we are like stationary laser and we just destroy everything what's around us, just at low altitude. That's the limitation, so keep that in mind. And the best way to deal with this plane is just to fight vertically. So if the enemy is fighting vertically, you have to stop pursuing. You can't go on higher altitude and let yourself get into stall and then enemy can have a win over you, yeah. This is my best battle, as you see, 32,000, that's very good result. And but I don't want that to be indication of how this plane is good, because it's not so colorful. and I believe if in enemy team there would be a very good player in BF-109K6 or some other good light fighter tier 7, he would win the battle. I wouldn't have a chance because I'm not so fast and my ability to cap sectors is not so great as other light fighters, high altitude light fighters, yeah. So that's why also we use a boost injection system in this plane, so we can travel much faster between the sectors, yeah. And this is very important. Our ability to cap sectors is very important, and there is a secret weapon in this plane, which I'm gonna mention now. So basically this machine is capable of flipping over a mining plant by itself in less than 1.5 minutes, which I'm gonna show you that on a training room in a moment. But this example here is from the battle, because most of the time in a battle we are not going to the mining plant ourselves. There's always something there, or it's already destroyed, or there are enemy planes over there which we can finish off. But the main thing here I want to say is this 6 20mm cannons and those heavy machine guns are very good at setting up on fire ground targets, and we can basically burn down the whole mining plant. So basically we can try the counter cap tactic, and if we're not gonna manage to stop enemy from taking over the mining plant, we can retake it, and that could be very helpful in some battles where I have 2 mining plants and we have like 1 bomber, enemy team may have 2 bombers, so we can go and help our team by flipping over the mining plant. So what you see here is a training room, and there's a standard ammunition, universal ammunition, and we are going to take over that mining plant. 180 capture points. We're gonna burn down the main building and 2 buildings for 50 points, and basically we're gonna flip this over before this mining plant will reload extra 80 points, influence points. So this is the capability which not many light fighters have. There are some, if you watch my video about light fighters, there are some light fighters which also can take over the mining plant before it's gonna reload 80 points, but it's not many of them, and in this particular one it's relatively easy to take it, so I'm not struggling here. Every single time I tried that, I was successful. Obviously you can do it better than I'm doing here. You can use premium ammunition if you want or whatever, but the main thing is just to set up a bonus characteristic to increase the chances of causing fire, and that, I guess that helps a lot. And like you see, 23 seconds left, but you can do it much faster than I do in here. I believe that can be done much better. I'm just not very accurate here. And 13 seconds left, yeah, 11, 10 seconds before I have the mining plant, so just by my own. So this is kind of capabilities which can surprise the enemy, but in a battle basically that's not very often that you're gonna be on a mining plant by yourself, yeah. Most of the time there will be someone, or there will be some destroy already targets or enemy planes that could be very helpful. So to sum up, we have very good plane at low altitude and nothing more. It's not overpowered, because if I'm gonna go up against very good players in some other high altitude light fighters, they can do better. They can go and cap sector faster. So yeah, and equipment for HP, reinforced skin, it's very important, I believe, in this plane. We shouldn't go for maneuverability, because we're not gonna increase maneuverability that much to outmaneuver the planes which are already more maneuverable than us. So we better have more HP, more survivability. But then again, you can build it for maneuverability if you like, but you're gonna reduce the ability to cap sectors fast, just basically because when you travel between the sectors, that's gonna take ages, because you don't have speed then, you have just a little bit more maneuverability, and if you think carefully, you just gonna realize that this is actually not something what's gonna be a game changer. It's much better to have more speed and ability to accelerate quickly and give a chase to someone, or just, you know, just quickly move between the sectors, yeah. That's the capabilities to capture sectors, not a little bit more maneuverability. That's not gonna change anything. We heavily rely on the firepower, not on maneuverability in this plane, so keep that in mind. I think that would be it. I recommend this plane if you like it. Japanese light fighters, this definitely will be fun. A very unique plane with such a firepower. This is absolutely unique, and it's worth of grinding or even buying certificates if you need. I have it already, and I'm gonna do it on another account of mine in NA server, I believe. That would be nice to have it. Well, I will see. I'm not so sure. Maybe I'll be lazy, but definitely it's worth to have it, to grind it. And yeah, that will be it. I think it's fairly good plane. Have his limitation, but on the right altitude, it's a very deadly machine for any other light fighter. So yeah, guys, that will be it in this video. I hope you like it. If so, please leave a like and subscribe for future content. And thank you very much for watching, and have a good hunting, guys.